Hello, I'm Kevin Hirschfield and welcome to Where You Live. Today we come to you from the west end of Winnipeg and one of the area's most iconic streets, Sargent Avenue. This was primarily a residential area until about the 50s or 60s, and then it underwent a redevelopment. A ton of businesses were built down here. After all, this was an alternate route from Portage Avenue out to the airport and out to St. James as well. So a ton of ups and downs on Sargent Avenue since then, but this is an area that has its story and has its characters. There are the long-term business owners that have seen this area grow and develop. A strong wave of immigrants proud to call this place home, and an area full of passionate people trying to make the area a better place. These are the people that shape the neighborhood, and for the next half hour, we are going to share with you stories of Sargent. This is Where You Live. This is Sargent Avenue. Joining me now is Joe Cornelson, the Promotion and Development Coordinator at West End Biz. Joe, thank you so much for joining us. First of all, the West End Biz, what is your role in this area?
Bizes serve to help keep the public space between businesses looking its best and making neighborhoods and the businesses within those neighborhoods attractive choices for people to come and do business and be customers.
When you hear Sargent Avenue, when you think of Sargent Avenue, what comes to mind?
So my feeling about Sargent Avenue is that it's one of the best streets in the neighborhood. So I really value the kind of walkable environment that Sargent is. Storefronts are typically built right up against the sidewalk.
How unique is that in this city? Is there anywhere else like it in this city where so many restaurants in such a short span there kind of exist from many different cultures? How unique is that in this city?
It's not the same old, large chain restaurants that serve your typical cream sauce and pasta. It's, you go to Ethiopian restaurants and you get injera with various curries. You can go to the Indian restaurant and get a samosa. You can go to, there's a few Italian restaurants for some of the best pizza you can find in the city.
And that brings us to our first stop on Sargent Avenue, Harmons Cafe, which brings the taste of Ethiopia to the area. But what you may not know is it also brings help to African children in need. Let's take a look.
This is where they live. I take them the first time picnic.
Desta Negatu never hesitates to show off what she works so hard for.
Those all my kids. I can say all my
Negatu is the founder of Bete Desta, a children's drop-in center in Ethiopia, which supports 50 children in need. Her memories of the 80s famine in Ethiopia inspired her to do something.
I have big bad memory when I was kids. So when I see kids, I need to do that. So thank you, God, I'm trying. Fresh beef.
Negatu arrived in Winnipeg in 2000 and opened her Sargent Avenue Ethiopian restaurant called Harmons Cafe in 2009. Nearly every dollar she makes is sent back home to the children.
And green paper. Don't ask me I have money from my bank. No. Because I pay my bill. After that, whatever it's left, I have to send them at least for a month, 1,200. I go every year, and what they need for school or for school supply or whatever, and uniform, we cover that. And for a year, come back here and working hard again, and you go back for every year.
Breakfast. So before they eat, they pray.
While she only goes back annually, she makes sure to call every week, despite the time difference.
Their lunchtime here, 3 o'clock in the morning. It's very hard to talk to them, but they won't talk long. And I say, you know what, I'm sleeping, please Just I want to say you hi, guys. No, when you come, just bring me this one, bring me 50 kids to talk. They think I forget them, you know. The big fear is why they ask me always when you come, that makes them scary. I think I never go back. Don't just go away and ignore you. No.
Her dedication to the home won her a YMCA Peace Medallion in 2015. She also holds a fundraiser every year and takes donations at the restaurant. And while home will always be with her kids in Africa, Negatu feels she's hit the jackpot with her spot in such a diverse part of town.
I like to be with, connection with everybody, not only my people stuck in here, especially my customers from all over, more than my people, trust me. I love that.
These children's needs being supported thanks to one hard-working woman almost 12,000 kilometers away. On the diversity angle, why is that so important in a neighborhood, do you think, to have so much diversity? Maybe why do you think it's important to have that?
I mean, diversity makes the experience of living in a city what it is. It's what makes living in an urban environment so great. There's so many different cultures in the neighborhood. The wide array of experiences you can have from living in the West End really make it, I don't know, it's a quality of life thing. It just makes your quality of life better.
Yeah, so much representation on this street, and now another story of an immigrant who owns businesses on Sargent, including this convenience store right here, the Quick Convenience Store. This is the story of Ali Saeed, whose fight for freedom of speech back home turned into a tale of survival. A relaxing Sunday afternoon shooting pool is something Ali Saeed does not take for granted. Winnipeg and Sargent Avenue are places of freedom for him. 40 years ago, Saeed was a young man in Ethiopia and part of the country's Red Terror, where dictators murdered and tortured hundreds of thousands of people. He was imprisoned and tortured for the first time when he was 21 years old. His crime? Fighting for basic human rights.
Such as for equal payment, 8 hours work, and for the emancipation of women. And there is no holiday, or there is no sick leave, there is no annual leave, and most women were delivering a baby in the factory. I saw one lady, and when she was bleeding on the floor.
After spending 5 years in prison, Saeed escaped Ethiopia and arrived in Somalia, but was soon back in frighteningly familiar territory, accused of being a spy and once again imprisoned, this time sentenced to death.
Totally, I have spent 7 years and 4 months in prison, and with 11 different prisons. Till it makes you strong. That prison life, that prison movement was my strength, and I tested myself, and I said, can I live even 3 days, 4 days without food? Can I handle the torture? And when they pull out the nail, your nail, and when they tie you with chain, can you stand for 48 hours or 72 hours without sitting? And that's the way they torture.
In 1984, Amnesty International and the United Nations campaigned for Saeed's freedom, and he was taken off death row and brought to Winnipeg.
When I came to Winnipeg, I had no pant, a small piece of clothes, no shoes. So the immigration officer was telling them, the barefoot man is coming.
Saeed settled in the Sargent area and more than 30 years later owned several businesses, including an Ethiopian restaurant and a convenience store where they make the Ethiopian bread injera and are the only suppliers of it in Winnipeg. And since arriving here, he's brought more than 100 political refugees to the city and helps however he can.
Every day, whoever comes needs help, and I help. Average 3 people a day, I can say that. And especially if they are newcomers and parents when they have children.
The Sargent area is one that welcomed in Saeed during a terrifying time, and one he will forever be grateful for.
I'm very comfortable every day. If I don't come to downtown and stay, at least for 1 hour in this area, and I feel sick. I feel sick, definitely. So this is a place where I smell of freedom.
Nice to see you. Everything good?
Unbelievable.